Hi, this is Sarah, the Stitchin Mommy, and it's Monday, September 26th, 2022, and I'm here for a long-awaited cross-stitching update. I've been gone 3 weeks, I believe. I had intended to only be gone 2 weeks, but I wasn't ready. So my husband and I went to England for almost 2 weeks, which was very exciting, and grandparents took over and watched the kids, took turns watching the kids, so that was great. And then when we got back, I was kind of dealing with jet lag and kind of getting back into the groove, and I wanted to finish my vacation cross stitch before I came back, and I did yesterday. So here I am. I'm gonna go over what I worked on the week since my last video before our vacation, and then what I worked on over vacation, and my plans for this week. So first off though, I have a little bit of administrative stuff and a little bit of stitchy kindness. So I will share that first. So I was contacted before I left, but I was too flustered to really do anything about it. One was by Stitching Cabin. She's on Etsy, I believe, and she designs really cute cross stitches. And there's currently a winter band sampler that's ongoing right now, and Frosty X Stitch has been working on that one. She has also released an autumn band sampler, which just started, I think, the beginning of September. So I think you only get one part every month. It's a mystery stitch along, so you're not behind. I think I got notification of this in August still. But I'm not interested in stitching it because I just have too many other things on my plate right now. But it's very cute. I can put the teaser up for you to see. And she wanted to offer a giveaway to one of you, and she'll, you send me your email and I'll pass the email on to you, and she'll add you to the list. So whenever a new part gets released, you will be on the list to get the free pattern as a mystery stitch along. So if you are interested in the Stitching Cabin Autumn Stitch Along giveaway, you can use the word autumn in your comment, and I will pick a winner next week and pass your email on to her, and I think that will be really fun for somebody. And if you don't win, you can always still sign up anyways, and she has a lot of other cute patterns in her shop too. And the other one was another Etsy seller who does full coverage designing, and she reached out to me and actually gave me a couple of her newest designs. Her artwork is either, the older artwork that's open source or licensed, so it's all above board. She's called the Ruby Red Stitchery, and she sent me a couple patterns, and I'll put pictures up for that too. The ones that she sent me that are newer, along with a couple of the older ones as an example of some of the style you can find there. She also has some floss drops, I believe, and needle minders. So a little bit of accessories in addition to patterns, PDF patterns. But she wanted to offer a code for her Etsy shop. So if you want to head over to Ruby Red Stitchery and use a coupon code, she gave it to me for Stitchin Mommy 25, and I believe that gets you 25%, not dollars, 25% off anything in her Etsy shop. So I wanted to make sure to give those ladies a shout out and yeah, just support them in what they're doing in being indie designers like myself. So yeah, there you go. So go support those ladies, and if you're interested in the autumn band sampler, go ahead and put the comment below for that one, the word autumn. I also had a birthday while I was gone. It's actually in England on my birthday, which was pretty exciting. And I got a couple little presents before I left, but since I filmed last, that were Stitchy related. Not everything was Stitchy related, but I got a couple things. So I got a sweet card from Colette, Highway Stitcher, along with a skein of Color and Cotton Cranberry, which is always, oh, I love this color. So thank you, Colette. She also sent me a gift card for Artisy full coverage cross stitch, and I have not yet had time to go through and look for something. So when I do that, I will be sure to share that with you. whatever I pick on there. So that'll be exciting because, you know, me and full coverage, you know, I can't say no. So thank you for that too, Colette. And I also got from my mother-in-law this Dimensions Gold kit, which is called the Finery of Nature. And I've seen this worked up. And of course, like everything, it's way prettier in person. It's on black fabric and the colors just pop off of there. And it comes with, you know, all the threads and black Aida. And it's possible I'll probably just go ahead and use the Aida that comes with the kit because black is hard to see anyways, so you might as well use something that makes it a little easier, and Aida cloth is easier to see than like linen or even weave. And since it's black, it, you know, it recedes a little bit anyway, so that's really pretty. So I don't know when I'll start that, but I have it. And then I also got a buttons and beads kit from my husband. This is the one I had seen had been released a little while ago, and I was like, oh, I love that. I already technically had, this one's called the Sunflower Garden. I technically had 12 kits already kind of earmarked for the 12 months of the year that I want to have in my little frame over here. This is number 13. So either I just make more than 12 and do whatever I feel like, whichever one, you know, I'm feeling like at the moment is what I put out, or I like switch one out and don't do it. I don't know. I'll probably just, as it is, I've made two and a quarter of the 12 I had planned, so I have time, so it's fine. But that one, I love that one. It's really cute. All right. Oh yeah, and I got the Fat Quarter Shop sent me their autumn Stitch Quarterly. So if you haven't gotten this yet, I don't want to spoil it, so you can like fast forward a little bit, but I think most people should have gotten theirs already. I believe this came also while I was gone, so it's been out for a little while. Comes with a cute project bag, which is a nice fun size. This is the smaller size they have that I used this version. This came with a teacup kit, I think, and I took this with me to England, so it's a nice smaller size. And it does fit the, you know, an 8.5 by 11, just barely. It's a little tight, but anyways, I digress. It's perfect for smaller kits, smaller patterns, which this Stitch Quarterly stuff is. It's like a 5 by 7, whatever it is, folded in half. The sweet pattern is called Fall is in the Air. So cute. The little fox. I like that, super cute. So the whole theme then is based around that pattern, which is foxy. So it comes with Aida 14 count platinum, which is actually a nice light tan. To me, platinum seems silver, so I'm not sure, but this is a pretty fall color, and all the DMC and a needle and a cute needle minder that was stuck to these magnetic cloth biddies, they call them, but they're the kind, they have the magnets and the little loops to put around your, you know, roll of fabric, or if you have things around a grime guard or a hoop, you can kind of collect it all. I've been wanting to try these, so I'm really excited about those to see if I like them, because some projects, the fabric in the roll that I use to stitch in is a little stiff, and it's nice to have something holding it in place, and sometimes the little thread peels aren't quite big enough for the roll situation I have going, so I'm interested to see if these work, especially on something like this La Soiree that I'm about to show you. So I'll have to try it out and see what I think. So that was cute. I like that. Very fall, gets me in the mood. So let's see. What I worked on before I left, I guess that goes over there too. I did a wee bit on Knitting Woman, so I guess I will share that. I totally have almost zero recollection of what I did during this week, the August 29th through September 4th. But I have it written down, so yay for my planner. But while I was gone, the planner is just empty because I didn't actually record what I did every day while I was gone. I was monogamous, so I worked on the same thing every day. I didn't count stitches, I didn't count time, I just picked it up when I could and worked on it. And yeah, and that's the only thing I worked on. So it really didn't matter. I recorded when I started it, I recorded when I finished it, and that was that. So here's Knitting Woman, Golden Kite pattern. My goal had been to finish, has been to finish this by like the second week of November. We will see. I am quite far behind on everything now because it took 3 weeks off of my normal rotation, but that's all right. We'll see if I can get that done or not. I don't want to stress about it, but I also don't want to get, I mean, whenever I have something like this that comes up, I'm tempted to just drop everything else that's like me stitching, that's just fun, like Whip Go or what have you, monthly sals, and just work on something that's the focus piece for the gift. That could be what I end up doing. But since I'm behind in so many other things, we'll see what gets done. So this is what I worked on August 29th. This is 22 count Aida 2/1 half stitches, and I only did 108 stitches, and I have no idea where it was. So you may not be able to tell if I did anything different, but I had to show it. Possibly I might be able to get back to this for bonus stitching this week and be able to put in like a length of thread in the afternoon. We'll see. I make no guarantees. But I do want to get back to this to see if it's possible to finish it by November. So I gotta put in some time if that's gonna happen. I also worked on La Soiree, which was my last August Whip Go call. And I needed to get 1,000 stitches on that for my personal goal. Here it is. This is also Golden Kite. This is the medium version of this design, and I'm cropping the top row of pages and the 1 row of pages over here because I don't have time for all that background. Something that is cool though is I have reached her head, and I believe I took some liberties abandoning my typewriter method temporarily to get to her head. I think I still had some parked threads to work in too. I may have finished those, so we'll see. It's been too long, I actually don't remember. I think I might have worked in the parked threads and then do a little bit of the hair just to reward myself. We'll see if that's a good memory. Yeah, I think it is. So this is on 24 count Congress cloth. Oh, there's more down here. Okay, let's roll it up a little bit so you can see more. And this is a stiff canvas that is often used for counted canvas, but it also works nicely for full coverage half stitches because it doesn't warp as much. So as you can see, I started out working, I did some column stitching on the first row of pages. So this is the page break right here. But then I decided to abandon filling in the columns as they go and work in my parked threads. So there are still some gaps in here. This is not complete yet in this wallpaper. This is wallpaper, this is like a paneling. But I have the parked threads all worked in. You can see the bits that got worked in down here just to empty threads out. And then I gave myself liberty to start some browns in her hair of that first girl that's sitting there listening to music. So, because why not? It's kind of like a Mirabilia where I like to work on the face first as soon as possible so that I can have something to look at that's pretty while I do the rest of it. So it's kind of how I feel on these full coverage pieces that have people in them. I want to hop over there to the people as soon as possible or the main subject matter or whatever it is to just be able to enjoy that. Yeah, and since this is so stiff, this could be one that those little fox magnetic things could be helpful to like wrap around that to keep my this has remembered the roll pretty well, but sometimes it's nice to just have helpers keeping the roll tight. Then I worked on my letter F fairy for a little bit because it was easy to do when I had packing and planning and everything to do. When you go away on a vacation without your children, it's almost harder to prepare to leave than when they come with you. Because I had to plan for me, I had to plan for them, I had to plan for the grandparents of what to do with them, and they had all their school and all their activities and all of that. And yeah, so there was a lot to do and a lot to think about that week before we left. So this was a nice easy one to just pull out a little bit. I only got tiny bits every day. I worked on this 4 different days, but one day it says a little bit of leaf, finished one leaf, finished second leaf, finished the string. It's very little accomplished, even though it was 4 days. But every little bit counts. This is for my niece. This will be the 4th one that I've done. And I do want to get this finished sooner rather than later. So here is where I got to on this one. This is on 32 count water lily linen, which is the called for linen, but I am doing a color conversion on all of these really. Changed her little fairy outfit to blue because that's this niece's favorite color. And then the rest of it is similar to what's called for, but blued up just a little bit and then using fancy floss that I had instead of the fancy floss it called for. Just because, let's do it. And I tried to use beads I have on hand too. Like I'm trying to not buy as much stuff. Like I'm trying to use what I have as much as possible. And so far it's working really well. I think with the letter L fairy, I bought the little butterfly charms because they were so cute and precious and I just needed to. It made the design. So something like that I'll go ahead and buy, but for the most part I'm trying to find comparable or nice versions of the colors and with what I have, because I have a lot of stuff, so might as well use it. Yeah, so I did finish my WIPCO goal on La Soiree. Got 1,092 stitches, so that's really nice. And then I started my travel piece. So I don't know, let's see, actually, I don't know if I worked on, I might have worked on, oh, that's in there, okay. I might have worked on year-end stitches in the car that week. In case I did, I will go ahead and share that. I was working on July, I believe, and this is by the Victoria Sampler, and you can find this on her website in the creative designs section. I always forget what that's called. So I think I did a little bit that week, but it has been a long time. I haven't worked on it since that week. So this is where I'm at now all together. And here is July. This is 28 count Dove Gray Monaco, 2/2 for the most part. And then if there's specialty stitches, they're usually 1 strand. And there will be a little bit of 1/1. This is the first block that has 1/1. So I purposefully chose 28 count because I knew there were some tiny patches of 1/1, and that's always easier to do on 28 count. So this could also work on 32 count. The 1/1 would be pretty small, but it would work. But I would highly recommend an even weave of some kind or a linen because all the specialty stitches and the over 1, it definitely helps having all the spaces available to do that. It's possible on Aida, but you'd have to split your Aida squares pretty often. So yeah, I don't know where it was before, but that's where I am now. And I'll probably start bringing this out again in the valet line this week. This past week, I continued to work on my vacation stitch exclusively all week, except for one project, and I'll share that. So travel stitching was my vacation piece. Night stitching, afternoon stitching, TV stitching, anytime I had stitching time, that was the piece I chose because I wanted to get it done. So this hasn't come out yet since before I left. And I also did a wee bit on my temperature wander with me, but I don't know. I don't always write my temperature things in my thing. So I don't know if I worked on this a little bit before I left as well, but I did. Oh, no, I think I did. It said I did one paw Sunday before I left, and I did a few little pads last night too, after my vacation stitch was finished. So this is Temperature Wander with Me, 27 count Linda in Vintage Country Mocha. And I probably did this one since you saw last, and then I did like these. I did this bigger pad last time with on the whatever, the September 4th, but these toes I did last night. And this toe right here is my hottest temperature. Whoop, whoop. I finally got there. That was 110, which my hottest temperature on the hot key is 110 or more. So I got one toe pad that was the hottest color, and I believe I have somewhere in here maybe the lowest, like maybe that purple one. I'm not 100% sure. I think I got to the lowest one, but so yay, that's exciting. It's gonna be hot today, tomorrow, and Wednesday, but then it should mellow out again to be more autumnal. This next pod that's coming in is probably gonna be all these bright or dark, I guess, dark orangey red colors, because it was pretty hot that week. And then we went to England where it was very not hot, so it was great. But then it warmed up again, and it's been in the 90s the last couple days. So I think after this next little wave of days, it should be cooling off permanently. So let's hope so. So that's all of that stitching that I did. I did not work on my Under the Sea Club at all since you've seen it last, but I did want to share it since I may work on it later this week if I can get it. This is the newest version of it because we got another piece out this past week. So this is by the Frosted Pumpkin. It's their mystery sal for this year, and this part right here is what just released this week with the otters and this school of fish. And I have not even finished this part. I think there's still a little bit more I have to do in this part right here. And then the border on the top, I haven't even started. So if I can finish my 2 full coverage WIPGO goals this week, I'm hoping maybe I can do this on the weekend to kind of get a little bit caught up, because this is so cute. I don't want to stay far behind. So as it is, I've only been working on this once a week for about an hour, and it was already not quite enough to keep up on it. And so now I'm quite behind. So since I haven't worked on it for a month. So here's my starting point on this one, because I think I'm leaning towards working on this one later, like this weekend. Just try to get this a little closer to current. So I've been doing each part completely before I move on to the next part. So this top one, yeah, I have there's still some white missing here and up here. I think she's mostly finished. There might be some bubbles involved up here. So we'll see. And then obviously the border and this new part that just came out. So yep, that's that. We'll see if I can get more done on that this week. Okay, now on to travel stitching. I had planned this project. I had bought it a while back and wasn't sure if I wanted to do it for myself or for someone else. And eventually, when this trip was planned for 2020, that did not happen. So it's finally rescheduled, and I thought, this is the perfect thing to work on while we're gone. It's a PDF pattern that I got from mybobbin.com, and this is called Country Cups, and it's the England version. They have the country teacup for a variety of different countries with something notable on the cup. This is the Tower Bridge there in London, along with some roses. I love tea. I love teacups. I love roses. This was perfect. So I made this my travel stitch and my birthday start. And I didn't share it because I wasn't sharing my plans. And this kind of gives away why I would be starting it. So this was fun. I also normally do my birthday start with Dawn, Frosty X Stitch, here on Flosstube and Instagram. And she loves England and tea and roses. And I thought, you know what? I need to share this idea with her. So I approached her and said, you're sworn to secrecy because I'm not sharing my plans on social media, but would you like to start this for our birthdays and for my traveling? And she said, yes, I would love to. So it's been so much fun, even though I've been very disconnected from Flosstube for the past 3 weeks. I've been corresponding with her, sharing progress pictures back and forth, and it's been really fun. So she's working on this as well, and we've had a lot of fun sharing progress, talking about like aspects of it, and giving advice and whatnot. We both ended up taking out the backstitching, not the backstitching, the half stitches. The half stitches that are kind of shadowy around here, because we both picked a fabric that has some movement in it. It's not just a solid color, and we felt it looked better crisp. So that's what we did. And I had some of this already put in, all of this actually, that was behind the handle and a little bit right here that was already stitched, and then I took it out. So there's some holes that are still, you know, open on my fabric. And I know there's some tips to fix that, and I don't know what they are. So if somebody wants to leave a comment below with some tips for how to, like, next to just maybe washing the fabric, I could probably do that because I don't think I'm using anything super fancy. How to get those holes to kind of relax, because they have not fully relaxed yet. I also was able to use this little floss keeper from Rolanda's shop. Oh, is it on here? Nope. Let's see. What's her shop name? I forget. I showed these earlier, and she sent these to me, and they hold all of the, I think this has 30 pockets. I have a couple of them in here right now. But this was really handy because I didn't want to bring a whole bunch of stuff. So I just had this rolled up in my travel bag. And I had all the colors that I needed for my project. And since it had teacups on it, I thought, well, that could not be more perfect. So that was great. I took that with me to England. And I also got a little ambitious because I thought I'd have more time. Not really more time, but I thought for some reason I'd finish this sooner than our vacation would be over. So I wanted to be prepared, you know. So I brought along my temperature butterflies. Didn't work on them at all. And I also brought along flea market flowers. Didn't work on that at all either. But they were both small sized projects because they're over 1, so they don't take up a lot of room, and lots of colors. And I have a lot left on them, so I figured they'd be perfect. I wouldn't run out of things to do. But I didn't get to them at all. So I'll have to get back to them some other time. But, oh yeah, I also forgot to share this. I bought this there in England, and it was a little kit that was in a shop in Bourton-on-the-Water, which is a little town in the Cotswolds that we stayed at for a couple nights. And this is like an example of their little town where there's a little river that runs through it. Super cute. And they have a company, I think she said the designer lives in Yorkshire maybe, and comes into their towns, the little towns, and designs these kits. And they had a few different ones for their town or their area, and this is the cutest one in my opinion. And they had the models all stitched up, which was really fun. So the little shop was called the Bourton Basket, I believe, and had cross stitching, it had knitting, and even some sewing fabric and other crafting stuff. So very cute little shop. So I highly recommend that shop if you're ever around that area. Well, let's get to my project. I used 32 count Blue Whisper Belfast, which is kind of looks like clouds, but it is a printed fabric, so it's not hand-dyed. so I probably could wash it if I needed to get those holes shrunk. And I actually took pictures all along the way, at least once a day, sometimes more if I was doing something interesting. So if I was on a train, stitching on a train, I would take an update picture with a little bit of background to kind of show that I was traveling with it, because this little thing went all over England. Well, not all over England, but all over the places that we went to. So I will share a little photo montage for you here, and then I will share my finish. So here is the finished product, and I'm so excited with it. So proud of it. It's very pretty. And I really like the choice that Dawn and I made to get rid of the half stitches. I think it really works a lot better. You can see it, since mine has that movement a little bit of the clouds, you don't really need more. And then hers is also a mottled hand-dyed fabric, so it was just perfect for what this is. And I love like the jaggedy edges on the leaves, and there's all the details in the bridge. And this bud turned out really pretty. I like that one. So yeah, I'm so excited. And this took me 3 weeks, start to finish, and there it is. Totally not like me to be monogamous, but this was a unique situation, and I felt like it was very nice to be able to have just one go-to thing and pick it up, and it was like an old friend all the time, coming back to it. So, oh, and I used this little needle minder that I had made with Big Ben on it. But that was appropriate. Okay, And let's see, when I got back, oh, on Thursday, I mean, I also worked on the Thursday we just had. I was able to talk with Desiree, the Addicted Stitcher. Here's Smokey wanting to come in and talk with us now. So here's His Name is Jesus, which we like to work on whenever we chat. So I was able to get this out again and worked on this a little bit. Only 145 stitches. So here is my update on this one. This is 28 count Ivory Lugana, 1/1 full cross. And I finished the word Jessie, so root of Jessie is finished. And then I came over here, the next highest phrase was I am, and got that started. So yeah, it's coming along, getting near the bottom here. Should be finishing this up next year, I believe, at the pace that we're going. So that'll be fun. We have plans for the next thing to work on together. And I'm excited about that too. So let me actually go let Smokey in so she's not continually whining at the door, and then I will share with you what I'm planning to work on this coming week. All right, I'm back. Yeah. So here's Smokey. Yeah. She's happy to see me. Here's your adoring fans. All right, so this week is, as you know, the last week of September and goes into October. So let's see. Yeah, so I think the plan is just, I had my four September Whip Go projects. I was planning to do these last 2 weeks of September, but I worked on the Country Cup all this past week. So my Whip Go projects did not get touched yet. And I don't think I have time to do all 4 of them in 1 week. That's not happening. So one of them, I think I'm gonna wait on my Fancy Lady Whip Go pieces. One of them was the Halloween Trick or Treat Fairy. So I'm happier actually moving that to the end of October. I think that'd be fun to work on that around Halloween. And the other one is Ashley's Roses. So I'll try at some point to fit that in somewhere in October, but I wanted to at least do my 2 full coverage pieces. They're both my Stitchers something pieces. Hi. And they're both half stitch pieces, and I think I can probably find chunks in there with lots of solid color, so that hopefully I can get my 1,000 stitches in pretty quickly. And then at the end of the week, like I said, I want to maybe try to get a little bit closer to current on my Under the Sea Club and or the Drawn Thread Sampler of Stitches piece that's now very far behind. So either of those, or my butterfly, temperature butterflies. There's all sorts of things that I feel like I'm really far behind on, or Knitting Woman. Anyways, so lots of things I could do in the afternoon. Come on, Key. So, not the afternoon, the weekend. She's distracting me. But I think I'm hoping to get 1,000 stitches on these 2 pieces earlier in the week, and so we'll see how that goes. First one is the Stitchers Retreat, which used to be a freebie on the Heaven and Earth Designs website. It is no longer up there. You can find this from some other designers because it is an older artwork. I don't believe Haid has it up anymore, but it is, for a freebie, it's an enormous pattern. Originally 625 by 749. I believe I started it up here and was just like, this is a lot of background, and I don't really want all of that. So I've cropped out 2 rows on the top, 2 rows on the bottom, technically 2 columns on this side and 1 column on this side, to make a more of a landscape chunk of just the leaves. So that's my crop of that. And this is 28 count Rose Monaco 2/1 half stitches, and Smokey's gonna help. So here is where I'm at now with this one. So I've got little bits of both ladies put in there with the lamp light in between, like making sure they're counted correctly. So perhaps I can just come up here and do some background. That hopefully I can get like my 1,000 stitches pretty quickly. Yeah. So yeah, you're so happy. So there's that one. And this next one is gonna be hard to show with Smokey here helping so nicely. This is the stitching shelf, which is enormous. I'm doing the max color version, but it is regular size. And I have, if you've been watching me for a while, you know there was a May a while back where I worked on this all month and did like a different scene every day. I was working across shelves, so I have some structure across the entire thing. And so I'll try to find a chunk, you know, like a background area or something, you know, where there's a lot of one color. And that's kind of what I'll focus on to try to, there is a lot of confetti in this piece, but I think there are also some chunks I can find to be able to get my 1,000 stitches rather quickly. Not super glamorous progress, but it is stuff that needs to be done. This one still has some parked threads, but I doubt I will get to those because it's probably confetti. So I don't want to waste my time on that right now, actually. So here is, this is 28 count. Let's see if I can get it all in there. 28 count mushroom even weave, I think. This is very big, but you can see I've gotten all the way down to that, you know, snowman there in the bottom. Looks like there's a, well, maybe it's pencil. Looks like a cat hair. But I got some of the, you know, hourglass and the books. There's a, where's the frog? I think that might be part of a frog. I was doing stuff that had like themes, and then every day I'd try to find something in there that had a theme, some of the themes. So like there's a dog started down here and stuff in the winter time scene. Yeah, so anyways, the whole thing. 2/1 half stitches is 28 count. Mushroom, probably Monaco. I don't think I think I bought it at 123 Stitch ages ago, which is no longer available in this large size, but that's the way it goes sometimes with these things. But I love Monaco for half stitch projects because it's hardy and kind of holds itself together. It doesn't warp. It's not floppy. I don't like Lugana for half stitches because it warps too much and the threads slip too much and things like that. So Lugana is great for 1/1 though. All right, so where did Smokey go? Oh, she's right behind me. There she is. So yeah, I guess that's everything I brought down here. I'm hoping to get 1,000 stitches on each of those and then work on probably the Under the Sea Club. That sounds really fun to me right now. I know I need to work on my sampler of stitches drawn thread piece, but that's a little bit more mind intensive. So I feel like I'm leaning towards Under the Sea at this point. So I guess that's everything. And I will hopefully, Lord willing, be back again next week, which will be the beginning of October. And I think the WIPGO draws for October should be drawn maybe tomorrow. I think she usually draws them on the 27th. Jessie Marie Does Stuff is in charge of that group. And yeah, so we'll see how October goes. It may not be exactly the way I had originally planned it because I'm a little behind on, like it'd be nice to work on my 2 fancy ladies from September in October. So I may not get as much focus time on my knitting woman in October, but we'll see how that goes. All right, well, I think that's everything. I can quit rambling, and happy to be back. Happy to share my stitching with all of you and kind of get back in the groove. I am hoping to put together my WIP parade soon. I'd like it to be this week. I don't know if I can do it. It's a lot of work, but I'm hoping I can get that done soon, and so we'll see. You'll either see it or you won't. So wish me luck that I can get that done, that I can find time to do that at least in chunks and then put it all together for you. So with that, I hope you have a wonderful week and enjoy what you're working on, and happy stitching. Bye.